U.S. presidential polls heat up. Poll survey shows tight race in elections. With less than a month for polls, Trump versus Harris deadlock to end with October surprise? But what is October surprise? How can it change the U.S. elections? With 1 month until Election Day, the race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is reportedly deadlocked nationally and in battleground states, making victory dependent on narrow margins. The final weeks of the campaign are crucial, and while party strategists are focused on gaining a decisive edge, they are also preparing for unexpected twists that could completely change the game. This year has already seen its fair share of political shockwaves, from a candidate surviving 2 assassination attempts and being convicted of a crime, to President Joe Biden stepping down from the race in favor of his much younger vice president. But now there is a lot of talk about the October surprise and its impact on the U.S. presidential polls. But what is October surprise? October surprise has become a jargon in the U.S. since the 1980s, commonly used by political experts to denote an important event, deliberate or planned, that could undermine one candidate's prospects while proving to be a push for the other in the U.S. presidential election. The event typically occurs in the month leading up to the crucial November election, giving it the October in October surprise. But what are the key events in October that could change the presidential polls in U.S.? The first potential political storm was a literal one. Hurricane Helene tore through 2 key electoral battlegrounds, Georgia and North Carolina. Because of the intense focus on both states during this presidential race, a humanitarian disaster with a death toll already over 200 has also become a political issue. Harris pledged long-term aid to the region at a stop in Georgia and visited those affected by the storm in North Carolina. Meanwhile, both states are essentially must-wins for Trump, and polls show a dead heat. While visiting Georgia, the former president claimed that Americans were losing out on emergency relief money because it had been spent on migrants. The ongoing crisis in the Gaza war threatens to escalate into a larger regional conflict, with Israeli forces clashing with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon and Iran launching numerous missiles at Israel. Despite presenting herself as a candidate of change, Harris has not distanced herself from the current administration's policies on U.S.-Israeli relations. Any hope for a pre-election ceasefire in Gaza seems unlikely. Trump has repeatedly criticized the Biden administration for its failure to manage the conflict. Meanwhile, the economy remains the top concern for American voters, according to public opinion surveys. Harris and the Democrats received positive news on October 4th as the latest employment figures showed strong job growth and a decrease in the unemployment rate to 4.1%. However, experts emphasize that voter concerns about the economy extend beyond just the latest job figures.